Hello and welcome back to our second episode of this feature of Off Track with Craig Finnikin. Craig, we're going to do new car reveal very shortly, but before we get to that, let's talk about sort of this season. So we're a month in, you haven't been out on track yet. Have you been to see any racing apart from the Northampton, or is it just the Northampton?
I did the Kings Lane when the Minis did the first meeting at the beginning of the year, but never really got to watch a Formula 1 race. I think by the last few laps of the Grand National by town we'd sorted everything out with the Minis because they keep you busy enough through the day. But no, the only meeting I've been was been the Formula 1's on, and I was hoping to race myself at Bradford on Monday, but we're far from it now.
Yeah.
So I'll just be there with the Minis again.
Yeah. But at least you can watch some Formula 1.
Yeah, try to.
Tell them to not wreck it or anything like that. Just go.
Easier said than done.
So we're in 2021. We're in 2022, and for me, I guess it feels like we've sort of continued where 2021 left off, in the sense that Tom and Ryan are sort of dominating the sport. There's kind of a view on social media that you need to come back because you're one driver that can end that dominance.
Hopefully, yeah, but hopefully they won't have to wait too much longer.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And sometimes with a new car, you can be there straight away, or you'll take 4 or 5 meetings to get it there.
Yeah.
I always found the best cars that I've built, I've gone out the first meeting, won Eaton final, and then they've been good.
Yeah.
But that was a few years ago.
Fingers crossed this one's good.
Yeah. And like with me, the old shale car was good. The one that Paul Prescott, it was a very inconsistent car. It was either really fast or I was nowhere near with it.
Right, okay.
But that could have been back down to a bit of time and luck as well on the day.
Yeah. So, you know, like, I always think that when you start a new season, it's almost like you get a bit of a change of the order at the top of the sport, and it kind of takes a while to settle down. But, you know, like I say, Tom and Ryan finished 2021 top and they're kind of up there again. Why do you think that is?
Because they're both, to be fair, they're both good drivers. Ryan, especially now, is driving a lot more with his head. Yeah. And sort of calmed down a little bit on track. Yeah. And he's producing some good cars, fast cars as well. And I think it has helped a lot with both of them with racing in America a lot. Yeah. And they both can drive anyway. And he's putting the whole ingredients together and coming out with what they've got. Yeah. And it does take some beating.
But it's a good challenge for you though, isn't it? Because actually, right, I'm debuting a new car and there's my targets in some respect. That's the guys that I need to beat.
Yeah. And it's always the same. You always want to beat the guys at the top of the sport and be at the top of the sport. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing about stock car racing and oval racing. Yeah. Everybody wants to be at the top.
Yeah. And there's only a small space for...
Yeah, that's it.
Let's just look back at 2021. Were you happy with the season itself?
For what bit I did, yeah. It was hard work for me, 2021 was, because I'd sold the transporter. We were limited at everything really, spares a lot, because we were just using van and trailer. Yeah. To normally what we carry, we carry enough to rebuild a car if we crash. Right, okay. And we were a bit cautious, because we hadn't got all the spares with us of the racing, and we got enough qualifying points to do a semi-final, and luckily enough, with the semi-final come off pretty well. Yes. But then it was back to the same old. After the World Final, I was concentrating then on getting the new truck off to be finished off and all the living quarters done on it, because we've got a deadline to try and get out for this year. Yeah. Which we're
slipped slightly.
He's slipped slightly, but we've not done bad.
No, and we're sat in said transporter, which you know is a very lucky. Show me inside. It's a beautiful piece of equipment, and it's great to go racing with.
It is. It keeps the whole family together as well, and it's always been a family thing. Racing has. It just gives you that extra bit of comfort, and everything's there when you need. Yeah. You can sort of come home and abandon it till you can get a chance to unload it. Like last year, we was coming home, got to unload everything because I needed my van to go work in for the next day, and it just made it hard work.
And especially if you wreck the car, you can just leave it in there and go, I can't look at that for another few days. So 2021 World Final at Bradford, you did have a very good chance in between the numerous restarts. You'd led away for a period of time.
Yeah, we sort of got the jump on Tom once thought we'd got away with it, then it was stopped again.
Yeah.
Then we set off again, then it was stopped again.
Yeah.
But then I think, I can't remember if it was the third or fourth restart, I was struggling to get the car turn a little bit. And then obviously showed about 5 laps later the back tyre was going down, which sort of ended the race for us.
Yeah. Do you know when you're in a race like that, the World Final, and you are at the front, and there must be some part of you going, I've got a chance of winning this. Is it really hard when you don't finish or you don't win to kind of then pick yourself up again and do it all over again?
Luckily enough, the sport doesn't get me down like that. Whether it's because I have won the 4 championships, but then it's part of stock car racing.
Yeah.
You just pull your chin up and then get on with it the week after.
Yeah.
And when you've done it for as long as we have, you get used to it.
Yeah. I do love that phrase, that's stock car racing. It's like the most overused phrase, but it's very factual.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to talk new car. Why have you built a new one? Because your old cars were very competitive, we've talked about that. Why the new one? And I guess any new ideas, anything different you've tried?
It's very, very similar to my old one, but slightly different in places that the eye doesn't see.
Ah, okay.
Plus, the old car that I'm using now, I built in 2008.
Right, okay.
And it was, to say, there's still nothing wrong with it, but it was just beginning to get a little bit aged and a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's time we did another one.
Yeah.
But I'll probably guarantee, if it's not very good, we'll be back to the old one.
So we kept that in the shed just in case, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying not to rob too much stuff off it to finish the new one. We've had to borrow stuff to measure off and mock stuff up for the new car. But
okay.
We're getting there.
So a few drivers have tried dual surface cars. Have you ever considered it?
I did when I first started, but I find to be competitive on shale more than tarmac, with the tight regulations that we've got now with bumper widths and side rails and everything else, it can't be done.
Right, okay.
Because the way I build my shale cars, how they are, I'd have to cut the back bumper off and make it to tarmac, move all my axles, wider axles, move all the suspension points, and it's, to be competitive, I don't think it can be done anymore.
Yeah. Okay. And also that time factor, isn't there?
The time factor, yeah.
We talk about time a lot.
It is, because by the time you spent all week doing that, it's another week gone. Yeah. I think it'd take you all week to alter it back to tarmac, then the week after back to shale.
Yeah. Just easier to almost have like 2 cars.
Almost.
Do you know what I mean? It's easier.
I did it a few years ago when I had one engine, and I worked out I swapped the engine 14 times in 1 year.
Right. Okay.
Because I found it quicker to do that than alter all my suspension and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. We spoke when I got here talking about kind of costs of things, and and I guess it impacts people's ability to race and go and spectate. Is there anything you think we need to do this year to kind of help and support that a little bit more to sort of protect the sport?
The only thing I've sort of said for years, the fixture list was just looking at a little bit to bring meetings closer together instead of going Ipswich 1 week and Scotland the week after.
Yes.
Sort of even it out a little bit and more speed weekends. Or I've been on to Russell and Graham. I think we need to bring Bradford and Sheffield on the same day.
On the same day? Okay.
Because I think you might just get that extra bit of spectators there, or if it's a Saturday, Sunday, well, I haven't got a hotel.
Yes.
So I may as well do them both and then come straight home.
Yeah.
And I always like the meetings of like Bellevue and Sheffield on the same day.
Yeah, we did that, didn't we, a few years ago, Bellevue, Sheffield.
Back to the years of Boston and Skegness.
Yeah. So what did Graham and Andrew think? Were they sold on the idea?
They're getting there, I think.
Okay. What's Sophie doing?
Don't know.
It's a good aid, but to be fair, like with speed weekends, I mean, and I think from a driver's perspective, it's brilliant because you transport 2 days worth of racing.
A lot less fuel costs, a little bit.
And then I guess from a spectator's point of view, if I think, I need to get a hotel, and then I guess it brings additional costs for a spectator. However, 2 meetings in 1 day, quite close proximity, could work. We'll see what happens for 2023.
Future.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said in part one, you know, you've consistently been at the top of the sport. You've won all the major championships. You've kind of alluded to, I guess, what 2022 looks like. But have you set yourself any goals and aspirations for the season?
Just go out and enjoy my racing still.
Yeah.
And then not fully looked into the future yet, but good possibility the World Finals on shale next year.
Right. Okay.
But we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
So we'll start next year and worry about it then.
So this year's more kind of like fine tuning the new car and getting it up and maybe odd tarmac meetings.
Yeah. Once I've finished my truck and the shale car off, the tarmac car is going to go back together. And then there's other reasons for a bit more tarmac racing later on in the year, but we'll wait and see.
Right, so we've talked about new car, we've talked about what 2022 looks like. This bit, I normally go, right, Craig, so over to you to reveal your car for the 2022 season. So anybody you want to kind of thank before we go and show everybody what this car looks like?
Just everybody behind the scenes that's involved with it. Wife putting up with everything since she stood over there looking at us.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I thought I could feel something over my shoulder. I couldn't work out if it was Sophie or not.
No,
oh, she is, she's looking, yeah. Yeah, you got mentioned, yeah, all good.
And well, everybody who helps out, all the lads in the week, all the sponsors, new and old, and just everybody that plays a part.
Brilliant. Right, let's go and talk.
I'm not showing you now.
Oh, damn it.
Come on. That door.
Craig, the car does look absolutely fantastic. It's nearly there.
It's nearly there.
Nearly there. What's left to do?
It's off beginning of next week now to have the exhaust done and finished. I've just got to finish fuel pipes and brake lines, and then we're virtually there.
Okay, because the plan was originally, wasn't it, Bradford on this coming Monday, but it just, I guess, time.
Time, yeah. He should have gone for exhaust last week, but then the lad who was doing the exhaust hadn't got time to do it, and I got other stuff I could carry on with, so I've kept it for another week to try and get a bit more done.
So looking ahead to May, we've got a few shale meetings. Is it kind of one of those, or?
We're 98% be there at Kingsland.
Yeah.
If not, we're trying for Northampton the week before.
Yes.
Just a bit of a shakedown and see what the car runs like.
Yeah. You've done quite well in Northampton, with it being shale.
Yeah, I always, back in the day when it was tarmac, I always enjoyed Northampton, and I know it's took him a few years, but he's got the shale track right now, and I do like the track. Yeah. Plus it's shale, so we like every shale track.
It is. Right, so new car looks fantastic. Hopefully mid to end of May it'll be on track. In your workshop now, it's a lot warmer than any stock car workshop I've ever been in this year. They've all been very cold. Maybe it's because it's warmer outside.
It probably is the warmest day of the year so far as well.
It's very warm. It's a great workshop, great space.
Yeah, when it's tidy.
And have you tidied it up especially for us?
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit. Tarmac car's over there. Bit of a shelf.
Yeah, we've now, well, I did have the engine back middle of last season. We just hadn't had time to put it back together. Yeah. We're cracking on to try and get the truck done. So the plan is truck finished, shale car finished, out on track, then put the tarmac car back together. Yeah.
And have you got half an eye on that World Final at Ipswich this year?
I've got a full eye on it.
A full eye?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I think with Ipswich, I think if you aren't on the first two rows, you're wasting your time.
Right, okay.
Unless you do get several stoppages, which you never know in a World Final. You've got to look at the first Skegness World Final. 8 stoppages was he?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
The last Skegness World Final, it went flag to flag.
Yeah.
It's how it is on the day.
Yeah. And it's a stock car race, isn't it? And anything can happen. And you're right.
Back to that same old stock car race.
Okay, thank you so much for letting us come up today. It's been absolutely fantastic.
No problem.
Clearly you're very busy, so lots of things to finish, but also you've got both daughters in mini stocks at the minute.
Yes, both out this weekend again, all being well. But luckily enough, the oldest one now has only got till September.
Yeah.
And then I can get rid of one mini.
Yeah.
And hopefully find a bit more time to do my own stuff, or concentrate on what she's doing next.
Yeah. Okay. I like this drama. Is there an indication of what she's going to do next? It's Lily, isn't it? That's the oldest.
Depends if you want to look. I could give you a bit of an indication. It's hiding over there under a cover.
Ah, okay.
So
that looks a little bit like a bigger car than a mini, that.
Quite a lot bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably find it easier to work on as well than a mini.
Good.
And I might have a bit more enthusiasm to get that ready as well.
Okay. Good clue. So that's coming September.
September, that's coming.
Brilliant. Good clues.
I think it works out. A first meeting is the week after the World Final.
You're right. Okay.
Which is Buxton.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I think so.
Yeah.
Nice and local.
Yeah. Brilliant. But then I guess you're saying if you've got your daughter or son or whatever it is racing in the same formula, it makes it so much easier from a organisational point of view.
Yeah. Plus getting the car there as well.
Yeah.
You're both using 90% of the same stuff, tyres, etc., and it seemed more cost effective to do it that way than putting into something else.
Yeah. Good.
Until she wrecks it.
But you've got a big space to work on it, so all is good.
That's good, yeah. Especially when I've got rid of the rest of my house stuff out of it, I'll have even bigger space.
You're only saying that because Julie's listening again, because that means you've got to do more work to the house.
Yeah. We'll do eventually.
Craig, thanks so much for your time.
No
good luck on getting it out on track, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Hopefully see you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Perfect.